Hello and welcome to the second proper session of Star Trek Kintsugi. We have two red shirts today on the crew, and we are kind of hit the midpoint of an episode last time, and we're going to be taking up with that. And I think our previously on, if we imagine this is a two-parter, is shots from the past of all the characters. We see Lieutenant Vate going through and cutting free Commander Carlton. We see Ensign Ward getting the news about her brother's loss. We see Commander Latal at the Tellarite shipyards, and then we cut, to the crew arriving, to the glamour shots we see of the ship arrival. We see some of the other characters there, including our first officer, who is an Andorian. We see Astrid's roommate. We see Ensign Farga. We get a whole sense of that. And then we see the crew asked to head to the Zemcaro system, to a planet called Relhik. Then you would have gotten information that one of the ships that was lost at Wolf 359, the USS Baran, a similar Challenger class ship, have visited here, following up on some anomalous energy signatures, but had been called away to Wolf 359 before they could report back. Recently, long-range scans, this is 18 months after that, have picked up a set of unusual energies that possibly indicated a warp-capable society. However, we would see the sort of planet in the background, slightly green and purplish coloring to make it stand out as not completely Earth in the background, and the Kintsugi in orbit, and not picking up any communications from the planet. And then further checks that seem to indicate a more of a medieval level society, but some strange energy anomalies in the atmosphere and on the planet. Then we see the shuttlecraft being piloted down by Ensign Ward, being buffeted by the energies in the atmosphere. You land, pick up signals, and we would have seen the two groups going in different directions. We were seen, I believe it is Lieutenant Vate and Lieutenant and our ensign, our security ensign, heading for the city. Am I right on that? And seeing the strange pattern of behavior, feeling that weird psychic pressure there, realizing that something is compelling the local humanoid populace and animals even to do some weird construction that is going on. At the same time, we see Commander Carlton and Ensign Ward arriving at a location where they picked up a Cardassian signal. They were expecting perhaps there'd be a Cardassian landing craft, but what they discover instead is some kind of transporter transponder. I think we also see Lieutenant Vate and our security person develop.
I think it's Carlton and Vate is in the city, and Ward and Latal.
Oh, okay.
And,
okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's what my notes say, anyways.
Let me get that. Vate. That's right. Because it was the thing about the who is in charge there.
Yeah.
Question. But found that, but no evidence of Cardassians present, and this is clearly an older site. But they would have been like, while they were trying to avoid being noticed, they see a set of locals sneaking forward armed with bows. I think then other thing we see is Veidt and Carlton picking up a Federation Starfleet, a very faint distress signal coming from in the urban center of this local population, indicating there's something going on there. But I think the big hook then is the report that comes down to everyone that a Cardassian ship has just emerged from warp and has arrived in the area. So I actually want to kind of start with that hook for you. Actually, Commander Carlton kind of ordered some evasive, like to get out of sight, I believe was the general statement.
To head to the far side of the planet.
Okay. And our first officer there will, and let's get our names, Commander Andala acknowledges that and will attempt to maneuver eventually so that we can resume communications, but communications is going to be cut off for a time as the ship moves. Commander Andala will reach out to our engineer, though, Han Latal, and I think that we kind of maybe start on that as the ship is on yellow alert. It's maneuvering, scans are going, they're trying to maintain a distance and not be spotted by the Cardassians. But Andara will reach out to you and will say, Lieutenant Commander, we have a situation with Cardassians present in orbit.
Yes, I can read the sensor scan as well.
Have you completed the transporter buffer?
I was in the process of completing it when I was called to the bridge because of these Cardassians. Would you prefer me to return to engineering where I complete my work, or do you prefer me to sit on the bridge, Lieutenant Commander?
Andorian pauses there for a second. It says, I would prefer you to return to engineering. You're called
thank you for that clarity. I'm on my way.
There's that bit where you interrupt them before they can finish their sentence, and like I think we see everybody on the bridge kind of looking a little uncomfortable after that exchange as you head back down. Commander Latal, let us have you make a roll for this. We're going to our momentum pool remains because it's the same mission. We're carrying over the momentum pool from last time. I think the role was significant that you did not have this on hand and you needed to put this together. So it definitely feels like engineering. What do you want to use for your attribute with this?
Well, given the time it's taking me, it's control.
Okay.
It's careful construction. I can synthesize replicate the components, but no one relies on replicating complex materials, devices. You build them.
Absolutely. You are chief engineer. So while this might be normally a difficulty 2 operation, you have your engineering department, so it becomes a difficulty 1.
And I suppose, would transporter operations be an appropriate focus?
I think so, yeah. Meaning a 4. So right now you're going to be rolling a 14/4.
14/4. Okay, here we go. Control and engineering. Roll test. 14 and 7. 17.
17. So 1 success. It is going to take you a while, but by the time we get back to you on another scene, that project will be completed, okay? Let us take up then Carlton, Veidt. It's night has kind of started to fall. In terms of physical location, what we see with the camera here is there is the walled city. We can see over the walls this construction going on. There are no guards on the gate. People seem to be coming back and forth at all hours, both animals and people. The local populace is a little taller than you, which is kind of a stretch, but perhaps at a distance with your, cloaks that you have, you might not be spotted. You know that the signals that you got, there's energy signatures and the SOS beacon in the city, but you also picked up energy signatures and possibly the source of that psychic wave to the north of the city, up in the mountains. What do you want to do?
Now, last week, Vate was slightly affected, I believe, by these signals. Was he not?
Yeah, I think it was like more of a psychic insight into the source of the signals and everything than a getting more out of it than you did, basically. Like you felt
okay, so
a
you weren't
momentary
affected by it.
weakness.
You haven't sort of gone Ram Shiva.
No. I can hear the voice more clearly, right? Like I can tell that something's happening versus just feeling the influence kind of thing. I think I'll look up at Carlton, Commander Carlton, and I'll just say, from the north, the mountains, can you hear it? They can all hear it. Look, even the animals, they can hear it too. We need to stop it, Commander.
I can't hear anything, but I will believe you, Lieutenant Vate. Clearly, reading your file, I know you're sensitive to these kind of things.
I've never felt anything like it, Captain. It's incredible.
So, two things we need to achieve: investigate the Starfleet distress beacon, and we are in the city, and it's coming from the city, or we leave the city and go to the Mountain of Power.
The Starfleet signal, it was weak. I think if we leave now, I don't know if we'll ever find it again.
We're already here. Let's deal with the Starfleet signal. If you're not being affected by the Mountain of Power, I think we've got some time on that one.
Well, phasers have stun settings too, right, Captain? And he winks at you.
Indeed.
If we look at the locals, like they're clearly being influenced by this. They're working on those constructs, the structures. But are they, are they like zombies, or are they, still acting like normal people, just with a compulsion? You know what I mean? Like naturally, but with a compulsion.
They are still acting like normal people with a compulsion. They do seem maybe a little bit dazed. Like they're clearly not as aware of the surroundings as they might be. I do think you will see that they definitely have lanterns and torches, so you know that they're seeing the visible spectrum. So darkness definitely has an effect on them. That's also a thing you will pick up quickly.
It was if they're all acting like Borg, and we don't need.
No,
to,
they're definitely not like that.
Yeah. I think I'll look for a second and go, Captain. I think if we pretend to be working on this project, then I think we'll blend. I don't think they'll question us. Have a look. Even the animals are working on it, and that can't be normal, right? For the wildlife. I don't know what life is like here, but
the control of non-sentient beings is clearly, an order of magnitude nastier than the control of sentient beings. So yeah, let's triangulate the location of the Starfleet signal.
I think yeah. You see that the tricorders go off. I think it won't be difficult to pick up where the signal is strongest, that direction, and we'll see you start to make your way into the city. So
yeah, I picked up a bundle of sticks or something. Yeah.
You're carrying something that looks like building materials to help you blend it. Okay. So we're going to do essentially a stealth roll for each of you. So what do you want to roll for that, Commander? I would say this is either daring or fitness would be my general sense on the attributes, but
I was thinking fitness or the reverse of stealth, so I'd know where they'd be looking. But no, fitness sounds good.
okay. So let's do fitness, and I think does security sound reasonable?
Sounds reasonable to me.
Okay.
Totally.
Do you
It does
have
say stealth under that, so yeah.
do you have a focus that applies?
Emergency medicine. Well, I've got team dynamics, and there are two of us.
Okay.
Or composure.
No, I like team dynamics. Both of you, rise and fall on your paired thing, so complications will apply to both. I think that's fair. So let's say 13/3. You're rolling with 2 dice. Do you want to spend momentum for an extra die?
Yeah, we've got a large momentum pool, so let's bring that down to 3 from 4.
Okay.
And we'll do an extra die.
Difficulty
Rolling
is
test.
a 2 right now with all of the modifiers.
Okay. That's probably not very good. An 18, a 20, and a 3.
So here's the good news. The 3 is 2 successes because of your focus. So you will make it. The 20, however, is a complication, and we'll come back to that in a moment. Drenna,
Yeah.
let's have you make a roll. Is that the same combo feel right for you?
Daring and security sounds good to me.
Do you have anything that would apply as a focus?
I have espionage as a focus.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
So that is a 5 and a 7.
So 2 successes again. So the two of you are moving in, you're carrying things. Again, the people are, they're nodding and acknowledging one another. There's some conversation going on, but, because of the light and because of their, the thing that is wave that is over them, they're not paying as much attention. You're kind of moving along. And you will come between these houses, these wooden and stone huts around, where you can finally get a look at what's going on with these buildings. And one of them is the look of it is very alien, unusual layout, weird tiered terraces, hexagons on it, unusual look to it. You can tell that building is where a lot of the energy signals you're getting and the SOS are coming from. But the other thing you'll see is next to it, sort of half built at about a 1, maybe like 1/2 scale, you see the Starfleet Academy building. And then off to the side, Lieutenant Drenna, you will see, at again, that weird scaling, like a building that looks to you like a Beta Z meditation hall. And you can see that these people are building those things. But Commander Calton, as you are moving along and kind of get a look at that, you will see a figure, one of these locals, is walking along, and it stops moving, and it turns and looks at you, and its eyes go wide, and she runs away. And I think you'll realize she's clearly not under the influence of this thing. And she has kind of pierced the veil and seen you and has headed off running away.
As she runs away, Vate looks at Carlton and says, "I'm sensing she noticed us, Captain."
Really, Vate.
Listen, you can't have a Betazoid character without them sensing things that are dramatically obvious to anybody with a pair of eyes.
All right, so I'm going to come back to you two in just one moment. You're close by that building if you want to. You could also pursue her if you want to. We'll talk about that in a second. Astrid and Tvelic. It is dark out, but you will see these three figures with bows. They probably haven't made out exactly who you are, but they are coming up. They've clearly sensed movement or seen something of you, and they are coming your way.
As Tvelic reaches for his phaser, he turns to Ward and says, "Remind me the date of your commission."
I think the captain specifically said, but regardless, we're not shooting first. Tvelic, you understand?
Okay,
Because that would be.
I'll cover you.
So Ward, that looks like it's in your hands about how you want to handle this situation.
So, Lowell, give me a sense of their proximity. Or have we got minutes or seconds before they kind of see the whites of our eyes?
So imagine that you're kind of in a clearing, the area that's kind of burnt by the landing spot here. They were in some brush and woods. They'll be up here in a couple of rounds. Right now, given the lighting, they can probably just make out the outlines of you,
Okay.
given the lighting in the sky and so on.
So I will, and the signal boy or whatever it was that was buried. Can I
Yes.
get to that easily, or would it take more time than we have?
You could try.
Okay. So I'm going to take the offer of cover from Tvelic, and I'm going to, try to get at a control panel of whatever this signal boy is.
All
Should I
right.
say buoy? Should I say buoy in Star Trek, or can I say?
I think buoy is the proper Star Trek term. Astrid, I think this is a question of speed to do this. So I think this is because you've got to get it up out of this cover. So I think either daring or fitness feels right for me. And then engineering, does that seem right? Or science?
Yeah, that sounds about right, I think.
Okay.
So daring plus engineering.
There are 3 momentum in the pool.
Got 3 momentum. I think I might. So is this this is a signal buoy? So I'm not sure if this is like astronavigation or
more of a transporter lock signal
okay.
That kind of thing.
So unless I don't think I think investigation is more gumshoey stuff, right?
Right.
So I think I am just rolling
13s.
daring plus engineering. Okay.
Are you spending momentum?
Sorry, what's the difficulty?
Right now, the difficulty is going to be a 1 to get it up, a 2 to get it up and kind of get back before they can, get up here.
Sure. So the momentum pool is at 3. It's on blank.
Yeah. Maximum is always 6.
Oh no, it's not on blank. The text is black. Okay. So I will spend 1. Bring it down to 2. Get myself an extra die and roll. Ooh. A 3 and 2 12s.
Okay. So you'll get 1 extra momentum on this that you can use to do something else, ask a question or change the situation. But you'll get this thing up, and it's pretty basic. I think you can easily get it up and turn it off right away, and then fall back towards where Tvelic is.
Yeah.
So you have an extra momentum.
Could I? I don't have the momentum spends in front of me. Could I do something like rig it up so that my tricorder could turn it back on or off if necessary?
Absolutely. That seems
Okay.
like an easy thing to do. Yeah, absolutely. Spend that momentum. You've got the tricorder rigged to this buoy that you have. Lieutenant Commander Lital, not Lital, Ensign Tavelik, you will see this. And again, I think we could do the cut back and forth to the people coming and the shot of Astrid getting this up, and a worried look on your face.
Come on, Ward. Come on, Ward.
And then up, gets it up out of there and falls back to where you are. And you will
Drag
see
her back into cover, clutching
you will see 3 figures come out into the clearing here and are looking around. Do you want to try and keep you and Ward hidden?
Absolutely.
Okay. So,
Sorry.
fitness or security? Which do you think?
I think I was going to go with daring and security.
Okay. That seems fair.
For a 12.
Okay. Do you have anything focus-wise that would be appropriate?
Small unit tactics?
I think there's just this, that if there were more than just the 2 of you, I might give it to you on this.
Fair point. Fair point. So that is a straightforward 12 then, isn't it?
Yes.
That's a 3 and an 8.
A 3 and an 8. So 2 successes, which is enough. You will see them move out, and they're talking amongst themselves, and kind of looking around. One of them will go over to the spot where Ward dug up the buoy, and there's clearly some conversation about that. But you see them looking around. I think you can tell that they are very, very much on a defensive posture here. They moved up carefully. They're looking around, and they're clearly very nervous in doing this.
Can I divine anything of their social structure or the way that, because I'm trying to leverage my xenobiology here.
Absolutely. So what that probably is insight.
Insight and science?
Yeah, that seems good.
Which would be an 11. So 11-4?
I think so.
Hang on, I need to, how do I do that again? Oh, a 12 and a 7.
Okay. So you will get 1 success. Would you like to A, ask a question about the situation, or B, have picked up enough of their talking to have your universal translator be able to read that?
Oh, yes. I think I would love to have the universal translator begin to have enough data to have a go at the translation.
So I think you've got that set. It's hard to see what's going on or what the social structure here is, but they seem nervous, and you will definitely have that their language in hand. Astrid, you have the buoy there, and we'll come back to you in just a moment, unless there's something else you want to do before I cut.
I think I will have to pass comment to Tavelik that, see, you are a science officer at heart.
Nice.
Grudging smile.
So Commander Carlton, Lieutenant Vate, you see this weird alien structure. You see that person running off.
Vate, deal with the structure. I'll find out about the woman, and
Sure.
I will run off.
Well, it wouldn't be a Star Trek show without the captain doing things that the security guy's definitely supposed to do. Yeah. Just nods and, let's. I think the camera obviously follows Carlton, I think, because he dashes off without saying another word.
Okay. So Carlton, not a question of stealth at this point. You've kind of established hiding here, though that is like being spotted is potentially a cost for failure here. But you need to kind of, capture, run down, track this figure. So what do you want to roll for that?
I think fitness to chase after her at speed, try and catch up with her.
Okay.
I don't really know what discipline would. Hard to say.
Security is the classic for these kinds of things.
Very
it
well.
Could be, could it not be command if it's a case of like just
hold hard, stop?
Yeah, just getting close enough and sort of like convincing her to slow down or something, like rather than tackle her to the ground.
I think he has to catch up to her first. I think that there's a physical component here first of all. So can't do that. So, but let me do this. Let me just roll my test. Let's see here. So. Hang on a second. Got it. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to roll. I've got 10 and 3, so 13.
Yes.
I pressed roll test. Is anything happening? It's gone right bonkers now. Oh, double 19. Just what the doctor ordered.
Double 19. So, I think that you will go running after this woman, chasing along. And I think there is that moment when you turn a corner and you think that she's gone. And then you feel the blade at your throat.
I will put up my arms. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Stop.
We'll come back to you in just 1 second. Fate. They get this weird alien building, this weird replica of Starfleet Academy, but also this weird, very familiar to you replica of the Beta Said meditation hall. What do you want to do?
It's a to scale version of Starfleet Academy, right? Like it's like nowhere. Obviously, Starfleet Academy is a huge building, really,
Yeah.
right? But this is a kind of like smaller representation of it, almost like
Yeah.
But this alien structure, I think, stands out clearly, right? Like, yeah. I think he looks over at the academy, and do I notice? I mean, it's always a vague thing in like the TV show, right? But is there anything that perhaps I might notice in terms of like recent construction? Like, is this a model of Starfleet Academy as I knew it, like, or last time I saw it, or like it can't be completely the same building over the years, right?
It actually, like, it seems like relatively recent. One of the things is you move up and kind of get a little bit closer and can see the light. It's a very rough representation. Like from a distance, the outlines all fit, but now you get closer, you'll see that the lines aren't quite right. Of course, the materials are different, and I think you'll also see that it's solid. Like there's no like doors or entrances or anything like that. Somebody's built almost like a weird pyramid kind of thing of that.
Yeah. It just occurs to me that if this was the actual Star Trek episode, I would have said all of that out loud.
Right.
Because it's that kind of show. All right, but so let's assume that's what I'm muttering as I come closer to it. I will I'll head to the alien, this stranger structure, which is where I believe the signal's coming from, isn't it? Like,
yes.
Yeah. I will carefully approach that tricorder, like looking under my cloak and following the tricorder as it like beeps slightly, leading me onwards.
So does this feel like maybe you're doing something to gather information here before we get rolling forward?
No, I mean, I think I'm definitely going straight into building. Yeah,
Absolutely.
straight to the signal. You know,
You will.
I have a high daring for that purpose. Exactly right. I don't stop and look
Right.
first.
So you move into this great hall. People are moving back and forth through here. You can see that there's still, this building is very much under construction outside. They're building onto it. It definitely has interior spaces. Again, it has that weird sort of hexagonal layout and kind of design here. You will see that as you come in, that there are two machines, like real sophisticated machines that look new, and you'll see that they are taking materials over to these things, putting things into these machines, and they're getting out like finished blocks and other pieces from it. It looks like it's not exactly a replicator. It's not Star Trek design, not Starfleet design, but it's definitely got some kind of fusion engine that is breaking down materials to the basic components, using magnets to separate the elements, and then doing some kind of reconstruction. You'll see there's two, one on either side, that are slightly different, but the signal that you're getting from the Starfleet distress beacon is further in.
As Vate pushes his way through ambles his way through the crowd, he mutters, I wish Latal was here. Can't believe I just said that.
And I think it's a good moment for us to actually, on that note, cut up to the ship. The ship has moved out of communication range. Latal, you have finished the transport booster.
But it does mean that if we want to beam it down to where they're located, we're going to have to go back around the planet, I think.
Yeah. That or someone has to take it down in a shuttlecraft, meaning that you would have two shuttlecrafts on planet.
So I think cut to the bridge where I appear carrying, the what are they called? Their transport
booster.
Yeah, that's what they do, but they have a
pattern
word.
enhancers.
Pattern enhancers.
Thank you.
A cluster of 3 pattern enhancers. Step onto the bridge. These are ready. Number one. Now what do we do?
I want you to head down to the transporter room and get those set. You said before you thought that with some work, you might be able to send something down.
I'm confident we can make something happen.
Let me check in with the captain, but we may be able to do a balancing pass with the motion of the Cardassian ship, and it's going to be risky, but we might be able to give you a short window of opportunity to beam that down.
I will make my preparations, Lieutenant Commander.
We'll see the scan, the kind of outline scan of the Cardassian ship, the planet, the little tracers of the rings of pattern motion going on there. Let's come back to Ward and Vate. Not Ward and Vate, I'm sorry. To Velik and Ward. There you see these three. They look around for a bit, and then they will start to move off. Ward, you've turned the device off, so it's not registering, it's not sending out its signal. But you will get a ping on the device as the Cardassians clearly ping it like, okay, they're clearly trying to pick up the signal for this thing.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
I'm just going to monitor that, and
Okay.
maybe I will, patch in Tavelik's tricorder as well, so that we can both keep an eye on it. Remind me, Tavelik, what else was our agenda?
Well, we were supposed to
Find the
disable the
shuttle?
Cardassian shuttle, as I remember, but there is no shuttle. But if you've got a ping off that, that would suggest that there are Cardassians in the vicinity. Can I use my tricorder to try to track the direction of that ping? Because at the moment, my assumption is it's on planet.
Yeah. I think that is no problem. That feels like science plus reason or insight, right?
Reason, I think.
Okay.
Knowing how to do that. So that would be 14. I have a focus in tricorder operations.
Okay.
So 14.
Sorry, I'm just wondering if is there like a group action if we're trying to triangulate something, having two people.
Yeah. So group, if you want to assist, then what you will do is you will also make that roll, but with one die, and you'll add any successes that you get to what a Tavelik gets.
So you said reason plus science, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not my strong suit, but we'll see how it goes.
So nothing there from you.
No.
Tavelik.
12 and 4.
So, and what is your skill with this?
Science, well, I was looking at 14, and my science is 4.
Okay.
So 3 successes?
3 successes. So I think that you will pick up that is an orbital signal.
Oh.
I think from the strength of it, you can tell that there is a Cardassian ship in orbit.
Right.
And I think as you're doing that, you will also pick up a second signal, as if a shuttlecraft of some kind, a landing craft of some kind, is also now pinging and perhaps heading this way.
The strange irony, Ward, is that having not found a shuttlecraft is about to find us. My guess is that they're heading for that buoy.
On order, Tavelik, right? The Cardassians are surprisingly cooperative today.
Suggestions?
I mean, my instinct is to hightail it, but
with the buoy.
What you know is, I'll give this because you took the buoy out of commission. What you know is they're not going to be able to find this spot. They probably have a general sense of the area, but they'll either have to land somewhere else or fly around to see if they can, find this place again.
So we have an option, Tavelik. We could turn it back on so that they land exactly where we want them, or we could use the time that they're going to spend trying to locate here to reach up with the captain. I think the situation is significantly different from when we got our marching orders.
But is it really? I mean, the captain said, find the shuttle and disable it. Okay, we didn't find a shuttle. But we're about to find a shuttle. He clearly wants a shuttle. If there's a Cardassian shuttle on planet, he wants it disabled.
I'm more speaking of the, ship in orbit.
I mean, that's kind of Challenger's problem, isn't it? At the minute, I mean, I'm sure number 1 has that, is dealing with that.
I'm really fond of Challenger, of our Challenger Kintsugi, because that's where I keep all my stuff.
Kintsugi, sorry, yes.
Okay.
Okay,
like,
I mean, if
do we-
if
Ward, you are the commanding officer.
Yeah.
So how do you want to handle this?
Okay, how about we eyeball or scan the shuttle as it does a pass, get a sense for how many people there could be aboard it, and if it's too much for us to handle, we cut and run, and if not, we be a little bit daring.
great plan.
And you two will get yourselves settled into position. And you will
So
see.
are you turning the buoy back on so we know where they're going to come down, and therefore we can set up?
I think we definitely need the time. So we want to see it fly over looking for this place to get a sense of what's in it before it lands right next to us, and we're kind of stuck with no options then.
Okay.
So if we are in a situation where we need to draw it in, we can turn it on whenever we want, right?
So you will see in the sky a Cardassian landing craft come down, shuttle-sized, and begins to kind of move around the area. It is very visible. And you will see those three back at that landing, like looking around, and they panicked. And you will see them like scatter back to the woods to assume a defensive posture there. Like they're clearly waiting possibly to ambush the Cardassians.
How many people would a standard Cardassian shuttle carry?
A standard landing team would be 4 people.
Okay.
We'll come back to you in 1 second as we see the landing craft come down. We're going to take our first break and come back to Commander Carlton negotiating with the knife at the throat. Okay. So take 10 and we'll be back. So, Commander Carlton, I think we come back from the commercial break. You're kind of in an alley. You're off so that other people, who are moving around can't see you, and you feel this knife to your throat, and that figure is behind you. And because Tavelek has primed the universal translator, that goes to all of your tricorders and things. So you can communicate with them at this point. So she says, "Who are you?"
My name is Commander Carlton of the USS Kintsugi.
Kintsugi.
Kintsugi. What do I call it? Fred. Forget Fred.
And you see her go, like, she presses the knife a little more and says, what does that mean? What does it mean?
I could go for the classic Kirk move here, and as she's thinking about it, spin it round and get her in some kind of classic holding a woman pose as only Kirk would, and stare deep into her eyes. What stats would that be if I wished to do that?
Well, I think the first thing would be something to along the lines
Disarmor.
of daring and security.
No, I'm just going to talk my way out of it. So, I'm going to say I come from far away from here. Far, far away. A place you've probably never heard of. I mean, she knows I'm not.
Yeah, you're not.
One, basically the same as her, and 2, speaking her language.
Let's have you make presence plus command.
Presence plus command sounds perfectly fine.
You think you have a focus that's appropriate?
I have persuasion,
Yeah.
or composure. I could be like ultra cool. That's more for the Kirk move, maybe. Persuasion.
So right now we're looking at a 14/5.
As there's a knife to my throat, I think it is quite important. So I'm going to spend one from the momentum pool.
Okay.
Let's see what we get. That's equally crappy. 16, 19, and 15. I think that's all failures.
That is all failures. Do you have, or have you already spent your determination?
Already spent the determination.
Then I think you're starting to talk when you will see this animal turn the corner at the front of the alley. And it's like a lion, but with 6 legs, and kind of iridescent eyes that you can tell are seeing in another spectrum. And it sees you and it roars. And like the knife is away from your throat as she takes off running.
Okay.
What do you do?
Out with the phaser and shoot it. There's nobody else about. I think this is well within prime directive.
Absolutely. I assume stun?
It's an animal, so mechanically, is there much difference?
Yes. If you use lethal force, I get a point of threat.
Oh, but the actual damage that bashes the thing, I mean, phasers can do a wide range. You know, you see things disintegrate.
It's the same damage number regardless of what you do. It's just a question of whether you're doing lethal or subdual.
Well, it's got to be stun then, really, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Clearly, it doesn't disintegrate like in the films.
Right. So it's security, definitely. What do you want for the attribute here?
This thing's big and nasty, is it?
It does look big and nasty.
So I think this is sort of like standing my ground, keeping control.
Okay. So let us have you roll. Now we look at this. When you do a ranged attack, that is daring. Actually, it's it's control plus security at difficulty 2. I'm sorry. That's one of those rolls that's set.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Let's roll. 19 and 11. I love 19 today. It's come up so many times, it's unreal.
So you will fire that off and miss. And this thing will come at you, attempting to get its jaws on you. So for you to resist this attack, you are rolling daring plus security.
Okay. That's 11. 3 and 13.
Okay. Do you have anything that is appropriate for a focus here?
Lead from the front.
That's a value, but thank you.
That's a value. Focus. No, I don't. No.
So I got 1 success. You got 1 success. Defender wins the ties. So he will dodge out of the way of this and can move away. But this thing is pursuing you. We will come back to you in just one moment. Lieutenant Drenna, you've moved through the halls here of this place. You've seen these weird energy things. I think then you will, you can tell that this next area is the place where the signal is coming from, and you will step into a chamber. You will see that there are some like stone tables that are around, And on one of them, you will see a desiccated corpse in a red shirt Starfleet uniform. On another one, you'll see a slightly less decomposed body of someone in a science uniform. You kind of walk forward, you see like their badges are still there. You see that there is a pile kind of thrown together of Starfleet equipment. And a quick glance through will tell you that these are bits and pieces of like one of those observation blinds. You know how they set those up when they go and do a survey? That this has been broken, has fallen apart, and in there you will find that very weak signal device.
I pick it up and I stare at the bodies. Are they Next Generation era uniforms?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I've always kind of assumed this. You know, they've got the comms badges, right? Like Starfleet comms badge. I've always assumed that that's like a form of dog tag as well. You know, like if I was to scan it with a tricorder or something, I'd be able to find that out. If that's not how it works,
No, I say exactly how I imagine it.
Yeah.
You'll find out that it's a science officer named Glass, assigned to the USS Baran, and a security ensign named Xenakis, also assigned to the Baran. Of course, in your records, they are listed as a deceased at Wolf 359, and they went down with the Baran. Would you like to look through here and make a roll to obtain information, basically to ask questions using your expertise?
I'd love to. I think this is probably reason. That sounds right, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, reason. Security.
Sure, I think that that kind of shapes the kind of questions you're going to figure out here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything that you have that would be appropriate as a focus here.
Psychometry.
All right. Do you want to give me that point of threat to get the extra insight?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. This seems like the time, right?
All right.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. I guess it definitely wouldn't be command, right? It can't be con. So it's basically engineering would help me think about like their gear. Science might help me understand more kinds of stuff. Medicine would help me see what killed them. Yeah, I think it is security, right? Like I'm more kind of like forensically trying to work out the sort of sequence of events.
That's perfect.
Yeah. Okay. We've only got 2 momentum left, haven't we? So I'm not going to spend it.
Okay.
By 5.
So you have 4 successes. So we'll talk about putting momentum in the pool if you want to afterwards, but you get up to 4 questions right now. So what's your first question?
My first question is, what's the connection between these two and this this building? You know,
doesn't seem to be any. It looks like these were things that they found and brought here. They're kind of clearly laid out in a we don't know what these things are. Are they dangerous? Are they not dangerous? What's going on with these? You have the sense that for them this is very much a puzzle.
Yes. So the because the observation blind obviously would have been somewhere else rather than in the middle of their city, for example, right? Yeah. The science officer is less decayed than the security officer. Is that right?
Yeah, it looks like the science officer. And this is, I assume this is your second question about.
Yeah, my second question is about any insight I can get into the discrepancy between the two of them.
The science officer clearly died, you would guess, maybe 4 or 5 months ago. And you can see that it died from a Cardassian disruptor shot.
Obviously, as he traces, down to the charred bit of the uniform, he whispers, "Cardassians," growls under his breath. Did Zemeckis?
Zemeckis?
Yeah,
I think it's fair to put this into that first question. Zemeckis looks like he died maybe a year ago, and it actually looks like maybe had an accident. There's certainly blunt trauma and so on that suggests maybe he took a fall.
Yeah. Okay, so
2 questions, 2 momentum right now left.
Yeah. Is the location of the Starfleet observation blind in the mountainous region? Is that where I would expect it to be? The one where the signal's coming from? Like
it probably would be in the mountains, but it's, yeah, the mountains is a good place because there's a high observation thing. You don't think it's like necessarily exactly where it was, because you have the sense that there's something like some weird alien facility out there with the energy source. But certainly the rest of the blind might be there, and these pieces probably came from there.
Okay. And I guess I should really have been thinking, what quick flashes of edited in footage I get displayed to me as I reach out with my senses, and the whispering blade begins to whisper in my ear.
And what is it? What is your question? What does he want to know?
I mean, this is the beauty of psychic powers, right?
Got a wide range.
A wide range. I think this is one of the ones where I'm struggling to phrase it because I don't know enough to ask the question I really want, right? What I suppose I'm looking for is some sort of flash of whatever, probably glass more than Zemeckis.
Absolutely. I think I know what you're asking for. Let me give it to you. You will have a flash as you're touching the bodies, and you see there should be a third person. And you will feel that like their presence, and I think that you will feel a familiar sense that third person is Beta Z.
And suddenly, I think, and whisper, "The temple, of course." Yeah. As he sits back, I think he even sits back in one of these chairs, right, like an empty one, and staggers under the force of it, and then looks out over, maybe through some window over to the mountains or whatever, right, dramatically.
Perfect. We will bring you and Commander Carlton together here in a second, or at least potentially close.
I'm happy to, I'll be walking through going, Commander, come in, and then they burst through a street or something in front of me.
I like that. We'll let Carlton frame that up when we come back. But let's come to Ward and to Velik. You will hear the sound and see this Cardassian shuttlecraft. It is circled around, and it's not coming down where it was before. It's actually coming out in a little more exposed area because it's trying to find a decent landing spot. But it is kind of, doing that hover and landing. What did the two of you want to do? Ward, what do you want to do?
I think we've got to bide our time. I think seeing how many Cardassians get out, what they do, and I'm trusting that some lowly Cardassian midshipman will be left guarding the shop as the others move on for their mission. So fingers crossed. I think I will say to Velik.
Velik, what about you? What are you doing? How are you setting yourself up?
I hope I've used the small unit tactics just to get good coverage. So we're not together, so we're a dispersed target, and we both have lines of sight to the hatch in the Cardassian shuttle.
Absolutely.
From cover.
So you will see the ship land. You will see the Cardassian, like the entryway open, and you will see 3 Cardassians, sort of classic Cardassian uniform, step out. And I've spent threat. And as they do, you hear a crack as one of those 3 natives makes a noise. And you will see the Cardassians wheel and draw out their disruptors and begin to fire at the natives.
I will fire to stun at the Cardassians.
Okay. So this is a difficulty.
The Cardassians do not have a good reputation with other species.
No. What's the Starfleet for no plan survives contact with the enemy?
I think it is exactly that. So daring plus security, difficulty 1.
So it's 12. Yeah, so 12, and I will spend a momentum.
Okay. I will say that actually the difficulty is going to be 0 because you spent the time using your tactics to set things up. So you just need to get successes.
Okay, so daring and security rolling 3 dice.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be joining. I mean, there's no point in me staying Sturm at this point, so 1 in, all in. So am I helping again, or?
So probably with the combat thing, we'll have you make a separate attack roll.
Sure thing.
Well, and that's not great. That's I was looking for 11s, and I've got a 2 and an 11.
Okay, so you've got 2 successes. Difficulty was
Does
0.
That 2? Could I apply my small unit tactics to that 2?
No, I think I gave you the difficulty mod already down, so I don't want to double up on that. But it's 2 successes. So how this works is you're going to be rolling damage with those challenge dice.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And you're going to be rolling your security rating plus 2 for the phaser. I just kind of want to walk through this because we haven't done it before.
So security is 3, so that's 3d6.
Plus another 2 for the phaser. You can roll 5d6.
5d6.
Now, before you roll those, you have the 2 extra momentum that you got. Do you want to apply those to do additional dice of damage? Or you could also spend it to hit a second target.
Hit a second target.
Okay, so those 2 are spent. Whatever you roll here, those 5 dice is what's going to happen.
Okay, rock and roll. Star nothing 2 2 nothing.
Okay, so that is 5 points of damage, and I don't think any of the effects that it can do are appropriate, but that is enough that 2 of them, the 2 Cardassians closest to you, even as they're firing their disruptors, will drop to the ground. They are stunned. Donna, what is awards? Also going to fire at that 3rd one?
Yeah, I'm gonna Yeah, just open fire on him.
Okay. Daring plus
s-
security. Difficulty is 1.
Okay, and yeah. The 12 is a hit.
Okay. So you will hit. You're going to be rolling 5 dice. You don't have any extra momentum to immediately spend for extra dice, but you're going to be rolling 5 dice.
Okay. A blank, 2 stars, and 2 twos, whatever that means.
Okay. So the blank does nothing. The 2 jokers would be effect and a point of damage, and the 2s count as straight 2s. So right now you did 6 points of damage. So this last guy who's kind of stepped out of the craft drops. They all 3 that have come out go down. The door is still open, and I think that you know that there's another Cardassian in there.
Well, I guess it's run like the clappers time, right, Tvilic? let's get in and disrupt
You want to
before.
essentially want to try the 2 of you to get in there, overpower this Cardassian before he can send an alert.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave Ward to do that.
Okay.
Because, of course, we do have a prime directive issue here in terms of the locals. So I'm going to go and stun them as well.
Okay.
I'm going to show myself and make friendly gestures.
Okay. They kind of stop. They saw you do something weird. The Cardassians, they're still scared. And then I don't think there's necessarily a roll here. I think we just raise the phaser up and we see that. But Ward, what is it that you want to roll? This feels like, again, daring security is our standard combat roll here.
Yeah, I mean, I am open to intimidating this Cardassian to stop whatever the hell he is doing, through a command.
Okay, absolutely. So you rush in, raise your phaser, and tell him to stand down.
Yeah. If I were a veteran officer, I might say something like, make a move or please go ahead or something like this. But I tell him to just freeze.
Okay. So difficulty is 1 right now. I've only got 1 success for his resistance here.
Okay.
What do you want to roll? We know command.
I mean,
presence?
Command for sure. Maybe presence or daring. I mean, I don't know.
Either one. Either one of those. And as Alan says, I think your improvisation feels like a good focus for this moment.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm not going to use presence for this to command attention or respect, I'm not sure what I'm going to ever use it for.
Right.
So, yeah. So presence plus command.
So it's 12/4.
Okay. And a 1 and a 5.
So that is 3 successes. I think that you're in there. The Cardassian didn't see what happened, so they've stepped away from the con to like move to see what comes up, and then suddenly you're in their face, and the phaser is up, and he will reluctantly, angrily, that Cardassian, scowl of hatred as you hold them at phaser point. You have 2 momentum extra because of that good roll.
So I guess I'm maybe creating advantage or setting up for disabling the shuttle.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So this guy is, you can lock him down and you can look around. I think what you see is that he didn't have time to like close out the con.
Yeah.
Or shut anything down. Essentially, the keys are still in there.
Okay.
Commander Carlton, let me come back to you. I think we hear the you know, we that's music. Do you want to meet up with Vate, or should we kind of do the montage of you trying to get away from this thing? What do you think?
I'm going to draw it towards Vate, and we do have communicators, so
Yeah.
I will say, I'm coming in hot, Vate.
Yeah,
Get your face ready.
It must cut to me, like walking out of the thing, like, you know, little bag of some of the stuff that I didn't melt down with my phaser. As I come out and I go, you know, Commander, Captain Carlton, I've located the thing. Well, where are you? And then just like, be with you in a second.
And I do think you kind of step out. We can see Carlton coming towards you. I think this is Vate, how do you want to handle this? Are you going to stun this thing, or what? Do you want to try and lead it away? How do you want to handle this?
Yeah. Well, my feeling is that it's clearly not acting like an animal, right? Like it's acting strangely, like driven by some outside force. I am almost tempted to. Is there any like scaffolding or like way I could help the commander like escape it? You know?
Oh, okay. So you want to you know, to help Carlton, and you know, you get up on the scaffolding, and we see the sequence of you parkouring across to get away from this thing.
Yeah, I think so because as well, like there are other of these people around, right? And I'm just imagining an invasion of the body snatchers moment as they all suddenly turn on us as I open fire on the thing. Whereas this way, at least we're running away, which is what we want to do.
So who wants to be the primary and who wants to assist?
I definitely want to assist because it's a combat situation and I have pack tactics.
Okay. So this definitely feels like fitness plus security.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds fair to me.
I like the pack tactics for a focus there. So you're going to be rolling 1 die, Paul. Brenna's going to be rolling 2.
I don't suppose search and rescue.
Doesn't feel like it.
The rescue part of it. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Let's go. 3 is easy. That's 1 success and 1 complication.
Okay. And what did you roll, Paul?
14, 1 off.
1 off. So 1 success, 1 complication. So I think that the two of you will rush up, get up onto this scaffolding. You're leaping from thing to thing here.
Can we run across the roof of Starfleet Academy?
Absolutely. Running across it. But I do think that there is a moment where like this thing has rushed up there, and you have to kind of make a leap of faith off to try and roll. And I think you like hit like a construction thing, and it sort of breaks your fall, but you're going to take some damage, the two of you. That's going to be the complication. Does that seem fair?
Yeah, the way we get out of there is by bursting through some like under construction part of it, right? Like, yeah.
Absolutely.
The creature like roars on the other side of something it can't get through anymore. So how does damage work?
So you are going to take 3 stress, both of you.
Okay.
And it's just a whoof, hit that, bruises as this thing kind of gives way. And the beast, you have the sense that you've kind of gotten out of its range. So you see it up at the edge of that building of the Starfleet Academy, see it knock over some kind of tower, and it paces around and then clearly stops and goes back a different direction. And the two of you are kind of laying in a dusty heap here.
Yeah, I think lying flat on our backs, right? Like pulling ourselves up. Made friends with the locals then, Captain.
A few of them, it seems like. Some of them aren't friendly. Anyway, what did you find out, Vate?
Info dump in between the scenes, right? Like pull out the one of the Starfleet badges or something, right? Just for cinematic effect.
Perplexing.
I think we need to
Is that when the captain's comm badge buzzes?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
And either Ward or the Tvelic report, we have the shuttle, Captain.
Excellent work, Warden Tvelic. Good news. I knew it was there all along.
I do want to have a conversation with Ward about the Prime Directive here.
Okay, let's do that, and then let's come back to that communication between the two sides. So you've got 3 Cardassians unconscious, one of them tied up. You've got 3 unconscious locals.
My best hope for, kind of stepping back from the directive cross that we've just marked is, why don't we drug the locals using some psychoactive process material, and then move the shuttle with the Cardassians to another location where we can disguise it, then disable it, lock them in it, and go about our business until we know what's what with the whatnot. Locals wake up woozy and hallucinogenic. Otherwise, we've got to tell people that we broke the directive, Ward. We're screwed.
Well, I mean, we're not responsible or compelled to fix the Cardassians' interference here.
No, but they saw us too.
They saw us too, but we were cloaked. And did they know it was us? I mean, okay,
I think that
see if I can get the hang of this shuttle.
Well, hang on. Let me say this to you, Ward. There is a brief moment in this conversation that I think you have a flashback to being in the ready room of the Yamato.
Yeah.
And Captain Haskell saying, I just need you to leave this little detail off of the report. You can do that, right, Ensign?
Yeah. Yeah, if we can figure out how to pilot this Cardassian shuttle.
Absolutely. So if your goal here is to move the Cardassian shuttle away from here to another location so that when these people wake up, they won't see anything, and also do it in a way such that the Cardassian ship in orbit isn't going to pick up anything unusual.
Yeah.
So
simples, right?
Yeah. So 2 difficulty to lift it up, get it somewhere else because it's a strange ship for you. 3 difficulty to do it without the Cardassian orbital vessel noticing anything untoward. Does that seem fair?
Yeah.
Can I assist?
Absolutely, exactly.
So how are you going to, what's in play in terms of attribute and discipline?
So it's definitely con for you, right? Ward?
And I mean,
control.
So the other thing, and the other thing that I have to be careful of is that I'm not like flying high enough to let the locals spot this as well, because then there is a whole host of other problems. So is flying map of Earth daring? If
I think daring or control, like you're trying to be precise here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I will take control for that extra point.
So it's a 15/4. You do have a focus that applies here.
Evasive action or helm operations.
Helm operations, yeah. So that's so 15 and 4 or less is going to be 2 successes, and then once you've rolled, then we'll have Tvelik roll.
Yeah, and we have 1 momentum left.
That you do.
Which I am inclined to rob the cookie jar.
You should. You're losing money not spending it.
Yeah, because this seems like the ball game.
So 3d20.
Yeah. So a 1 and a 4 and a 10. So
That is 5
5
successes.
Wow. Okay.
5 successes. So you do this like, what does it look like? Like you do this expertly. I think that Tvelik is maybe going to step up, like, I'm going to help out. And then you see Ward's just like, but what do we see on screen here, Ward?
Yeah, so I think that we see, the shuttle like centimeters above the canopy. And I think maybe, Tvelik overhears Ward saying a few things about the whole the UI of the Cardassian shuttle. This should not be here. This is really clunky, you know. But making adjustments to her usual routine as if it's second nature. And there's a moment where maybe Tvelik threatens to lose his lunch as she just swoops over into a clearing and then back up with that classic humpback bridge feeling in the pit of his stomach.
Perfect.
And then just like turns on a dime to land.
Yeah.
Under
So
some cover.
Land, get it hidden. You actually have 3 momentum because I forgot you built an aspect, a trait to help this out. So you've got 3 momentum left you can use to do something or put it back in the cookie jar.
Oh yeah, I thought I was building that advantage to disable the shuttlecraft.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
2 momentum.
Okay.
Left.
I will put it back in the jar.
Okay, so put that back up to 2.
Yeah.
Commander Carlton, you've got a couple choices here. The 2 of you. You could make your way up the mountain. You could try and find that local who spotted you before. Or you could head to meet up with Tvelik and Ward.
I think we need some local explanation about what's been going on.
We're going to need a guide if we go to that mountain. If only we need to talk to that local.
Let's try and follow her tracks, because clearly, it is a nice dusty Western style ground.
I think in true Star Trek dramatic fashion, like as the 2 of you get up out of this, kind of dusting yourselves off, like, okay, we should find that person. You will see that young woman, like she's clearly followed this chase and like is there a little ways away, like and sees you get up and looks shocked.
I look at the captain and say, so how did first contact go, sir?
It went well, if being under a blade is a good definition. Be careful, she's wily. But we do come in peace.
And I go, hey, could you tell us what's going on here?
So essentially you want to try and like establish a rapport here with this person. Keep them from running off.
Yeah. I'm gonna, it's gonna be the whole like we can tell that you're okay as well, like we can help stop this sort of approach, But so I think that's presence.
That seems right.
And command, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mediation is one of my focuses.
That seems right. All right.
And I'm
So that's a
spend a point of
12/3.
I'm going to spend the point of momentum as well.
Okay.
Can I assist?
Yes, you can. So
Okay.
you roll 1d20. Vate rolls 3d20.
Do really well.
Holy
I
cow.
did not.
It's not the captain's day today, is it?
It is not.
I have to say something, and she just stares daggers at him and holds the blade.
So that's 4 successes.
Yeah.
So I think difficulty to kind of make contact and you know, and kind of get her, and she'll say, you're like
Unaffected.
you're like the bodies. You are like the corpses that we found.
Yes. Yes. And he looks pained at that, you know. He says, they were our friends. We came here to find them. But something's very wrong here. Right? Your people. This isn't right, is it?
There were others like you, but different.
They're not like us.
After we had found the first person and some of the weird pieces, some months later, there was a roaring in the sky, and like there was earlier today, and these people came and they injured our people and made demands of them, and then they were hunting. They went out and they were hunting, and they killed the other one, and we found their body, but then they pursued the last one up into the mountains, and then they came back. They had not found them as far as we could tell, but then things got strange. People started acting weird, and she gestures to everything, and this started the building, and no one listening to one another, and the animals. This is not natural. This is not the way things are supposed to be. And shortly after it started, the other ones, the ones with the greenish skin, they were affected as well, but they were panicked. They were terrified, and they left back up into the sky.
That makes sense.
Does it? It does not make sense to me.
It makes sense of their nature. They tend to flee. And I'll sort of turn to Vate and say, just to confirm, Vate, was one of our friends that came down here a Beta Z?
I think the survivor is a Beta Z, so I think we'll
And
find
would
them.
you, do you think what's happening down here could be an amplification of a Beta Z's innate power?
Never heard anything like it, sir. But and he, you know, he pat his hand rests out subconsciously on the blade at his under his thing, and he says, "But there are things that reach out to us in the galaxy. Starfleet Academy, the Temple, both places. I think you may be onto something. We need to get up there fast."
Indeed.
I look to the local and I say,
could we ask a name?
"Yeah, I say my name's Vate. and give her a smile. What's yours?
He will say, get the name here. Mundiris is what I am called here.
Well, Banderas, we need to get up to those mountains. Can you help us?
We need to solve this problem.
I can take you up there. We do not want to go by the main road. There are more of those patrolling beasts, but I know a way that we can get up there.
Excellent.
I would like to say, if we're up for it, and if I don't want to take it off the table, but do we want to rendezvous with the others and fly up there in
We
the shuttle?
definitely no, because she's leading us up there. That would be a prime directive violation.
But I think you can
Star Trek.
Yeah. I think you can meet up with
We
with
can
the
meet
other
up and
pair.
hand wave the long march.
Yeah.
Oh
Up
yeah,
the
well, just because I was
mountain.
going to say like I know a way up there, I was going to say I think I know a way up there too, right? And then we cut to the shuttle flying. But however close we want to actually stick to the prime directive this episode, you know.
Let's take 5. We'll take to the hour. We'll come back with the 2 parts together. And we'll talk about the shuttle like being Cardassian shuttle being put out of commission and all that. Okay. So, Ward, you want to disable this shuttlecraft?
Yeah.
Permanently disable? Temporarily disable? Like, what is your intention here?
I mean, if it's easier to permanently disable it, no. I mean, maybe there'll be a thingamajig which cannot be repaired unless another shuttle comes down from the ship. So
you steal a key part. So absolutely. Yeah. So I think that we simply apply that trait that you built earlier to the shuttlecraft, and it is now disabled.
Okay.
And the Cardassians are tied up. The only one who saw a Federation person is that last person. And you will do that. We'll kind of cut from that, if that's okay with you, to somewhere on the mountains, to Carlton, Vate, Ward, and Tavilik. And Mundiris kind of going along here. You have the sense that she's very comfortable in the mountains. Like she knows this, and in the conversation with you have the sense that she's always like she's some kind of outsider in her own society, and like that what has happened here is strange, but she knew how to survive on her own. She will say there were others like me who were not affected, but they were taken. Some fled out for the hills, but I stayed around. I know.
Do you know where they were taken?
They were taken up to the mountain.
Okay, good to know.
And I think we get the shot of, we're on that rocky plateau outside of Los Angeles where they do the shooting. And I think we see you looking over the rocks, and you will see this slope that goes up. And you can see that there are more of these people going back and forth. And there are a couple more of those processor units like you've seen before. The Vate at the facility. There may be a little bit larger, and it definitely looks like this is another place where materials are getting created to be taken down to build things. And Mundiris will say, we can avoid that there is another way down into the cavern. It was never this big before. When I don't know what happened, but it's deeper than it was before. But there, if we do go in, we can get past some of the guards, but there are still things guarding the way down into the heart of it.
Good to know, Manderas.
You've been here before,
These
Bundy?
machines.
What? Yes.
These machines, Manderas, did they only appear recently? Or have they always been there?
After the things happened and people started coming up here, there were some of these things, and then they started to build more of them.
Can I run my tricorder across these? Because I'd be curious whether this is Cardassian technology, Federation technology, or something else.
Oh, I actually think that probably doesn't even merit a roll. I think you can tell that this is not Cardassian, Federation, Klingon. This is some kind of alien technology. It looks like those processor units might have started out as something basic that had already been crafted, but then they've manufactured more pieces to make the things larger. Like it's kind of self-building, self-expanding.
I think our Betazoid friend found something in the mountain.
Or something found them.
Quite possible. Still, we'll only find out when we go in.
Yeah.
All right.
That's when we cut to adverts, right? On that.
Yes. So this is going to be kind of a journey check. You can approach it as either fitness for kind of doing the rock climbing down through the crevasses that you have to get through, or a stealth roll, to avoid detection as you go along to get to a certain point. So basically, this is going to be difficulty 2 for everyone. And if you have something you think is appropriate, you can apply that. I'm going to kind of total it together to get our kind of engagement roll. So let's start with
momentum. Are we sure we've got that tallied up right? Did Donna not generate some on his last roll?
He spent that.
Yeah, it went down to 0 and back to 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we can choose the order that people want to do this in case one person generates momentum.
No, I got momentum, didn't I? In my last one, I had 4 successes. I don't know how many of them I need to spend there.
I know that you spent
2 to beat the challenge.
And this is about
I think that left 2 in the momentum pot, which we spent.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
think we are right on the momentum.
Yeah, I was just like, group rolls are probably the time to do.
Hey, here's the thing, Will. If you run out of momentum, there's no problem, because you can always get more by giving me threat. So just keep that in mind.
You're losing money not doing it, right?
Exactly.
Let's talk about getting another point of momentum. How do we do that, Lowell?
Okay, so here's what it is we're going to do the rolls. You can decide who wants to go first on this difficulty 2 roll. If they were to get 3 successes or more, then they could put that momentum into the pool for the next person to use potentially.
Okay. Oh, sorry, I was talking about determination.
Oh, determination. Okay. So determination, everybody has a point unless you've spent it. You all have that. Determination can be spent before a roll to give yourself a die that's set at a 1 for a critical success, or it can be used after a roll to re-roll.
I want another point of determination.
Yeah. So determination comes when you challenge one of your values. When something that you do causes you an issue, causes you a problem in play that you have to deal with.
Think self-compel of an aspect.
Yeah. There is a bit of a fate mechanic there.
So I've got lead from the front. So if I go first on this roll,
If you go first from this roll and want to take the failure and not get any successes, I'll give you a point of determination.
So they then must generate a lot more successes.
They would have to generate more successes, yes, to make up for that. But you would have that point of determination to spend on the following scene.
Following scene.
Essentially, after this climb in and stuff, after this whole sequence is done.
Okay. Let's not do that. Let's just roll.
The dramatic aspect would be that Carlton's line snaps or the rock falls away as we're climbing down the cliff, right?
I was going to use it to then generate the determination to then do the spirit of discovery, which adds 3 points to the pool, which you guys could then use. Lots of successes. Blah 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 blah. Okay, straight roll. Let's not waste time.
Okay.
Let's lead from the front. Go go go.
So are you doing this? Feels like either daring or fitness.
Fitness.
Okay. Plus security.
Oh, only a 20. There we go. No successes. 120.
So the rope snaps anyway.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that little hard move aside for the second because I might get some more complications. Who's second?
I think we should put our strongest foot forward next, right?
Yeah, which is momentum. Fate.
Oh, yeah, okay, cool. I didn't want to leap in with that. Well, my character's built for this sort of stuff. So I think it's daring, security.
Yeah. So that's 17/5.
Yeah, I don't think any of my abilities come into play here. 9, 2 successes.
2 successes. And then who's next after that?
I'm definitely following my hero.
I was about to say, looking at my my abilities or my talents, I've completely forgotten about my untapped potential, which could have generated some momentum. But
keep an eye on that.
I will try to remember next time. So, sorry, Alan, did you want to go first?
Yeah, I want to use daring and security too.
Okay. Let's have
which is not great actually. It's 12.
Okay.
A 9 and a 12.
So 2 successes.
And I guess I will go last with a very similar daring plus security total. No focuses apply. And zilch. Big zilch.
0.
13 and a 16.
So it's a tough crawl down into this place, into these tunnels, kind of sliding down that kind of narrow thing. And you can hear the noise of the machinery back behind you as you get to this big hallway. You can see something must have happened here. Rocks have fallen, like maybe the Cardassian fire, because you can see some disruptor fire, broke something open, and our this Beta Z, found a way down deep into this strange cavern down here. But the 4 of you will be walking along with Mundiris when you hear this pinging sound and this screech, and Mundiris goes, "Oh no!" And you will hear this, and this thing, bat-like, swoops down, grabs Mundiris, and flies her forward. Like, I hear her screaming as she's being taken down into the dark, even as these flying bat beasts swoop in and attack the four of you. So let's look. This is going to be initiative, just so we can kind of test out this. So basically, with the order of things, we start with the heroes, and then we go to the villains, and we alternate those. And you can spend momentum to bump yourself in the order if you want. But right now we've got these high special effect CG bat things swooping down. They've got huge claws, these leathery wings, and they are coming down at you. You hear that kind of screech. They're clearly using some kind of sonar echolocation here. So, Commander, who do you want to start from your side?
Okay, quick pack tactics. Do I have to go first to use that to bump somebody else?
Let me take a look at this here quick.
Yeah, when do you do your assist move, I guess, is the question, isn't it?
So if you do an assist, that is your action. So you would take it that's one of those kind of a reaction thing. So you take it when the other person goes.
So two of us could technically go first.
Technically, yeah.
I have an ability that lets me shoot multiple targets.
Well, let's assist. Let's assist the good Lieutenant Commander. Oh no, we're putting the move all round. Lieutenant Vate.
All right. So we are going to have you make that check. So you're both rolling daring plus security.
Yes.
And then to do that extra target is going to be 2 momentum, but we'll resolve that after we get that first target resolved here. So, Commander Carlton.
Yes. Momentum costs 2. Is that right? The swift task momentum costs 2. Momentum,
yeah, to do additional target.
Right. Cool.
Yeah. So, but let's start.
Set faces to wide.
Okay. So, Vate, let's start with you. We're going to kind of walk through the mechanics of this. You are rolling daring plus security.
Yes.
You have, I don't think you have anything that's an appropriate focus for this.
No, I don't think I do. Okay. To be perfectly honest with you, no.
Okay. But that's still a really good roll for you. That's a 17/1. You're going to roll 2 dice. Commander Carlton is going to roll 1 die with daring and security.
Holy moly. A 5? That's the lowest I've rolled all night.
Okay. So 1 extra success. And then Lieutenant Vate.
I get a 16 and a 20. So
16.
I pass with 1. And I get a competition.
So you do get 1 momentum because of your roll, and then an extra momentum because of Carlton's roll. We can go ahead and put that in the pool, and we can decide how we want to use that in a moment. Let's resolve this first attack. You are going to hit. You're going to roll your security plus 2 in those challenge dice.
Right.
7 dice.
Oh, that's how I work out damage then.
Yeah.
Cool. 7 dice. Yes. Is that good?
Okay, so let's see. So that's 5 points of damage. And the Joker is enough to reduce their any kind of armor that they might have. So with first shot hits and drops 1 of these. Do you want to spend 2 momentum and take a second shot?
Yes, of course I do. Which I guess means we even out of the momentum based upon what we just did, basically, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, we're
Fires
one up, aren't we? There was 3 momentum. Or was I wrong?
3
Only 2
momentum?
momentum?
You got 2 momentum, and
Mhm.
now he's going to spend 2 momentum.
But do I generate an extra one, or is that one?
I
That's
counted
what
that
I
in there.
thought.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So I don't think that you get to do a second assist. So it's just
No,
a
that's fine.
straight roll for you, Vate.
Cool. Let's see how well the quick fire goes. That's a success.
That is a success. So that is a hit. The difficulty is 1. So you're just going to roll straight damage again.
That's more damage, isn't it now?
6 points. So what does that look like? Like what you look awesome doing it, but what does it look like?
I think I leap forward as Mundira screams and is carried out, right? And I fire a shot, and I actually like wing one that's flying right next to the one that's and then that's when the horde of them comes out of the darkness.
Okay.
And then the captain yells at, and I fire off another one, taking another one out, and its body crashes down to the ground, like right at my feet. And I yell, phasers.
So screeching hits your ears. They're going to go. I have 2 of them left. So I'll have one of them go, and I'm going to attack you, Lieutenant Vate. So I'm rolling their daring plus security. Is 2 successes right now. I've got. You will also roll daring plus security.
I think I'll be rolling that what? 12 and 11? Those are 2 successes, I think.
2 successes. So you will dodge out of the way as this thing, you shot 2 of them, you dodge out of the way as this one screeches down at you. Vate, who goes after you, Ward or Tavilik?
I really want to see Tavilik just because he's desperate to be a security officer, right? So,
This is your interview, Tavilik.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, part of me is maybe it's funnier then that he acts much later in the initiative. Now that I think about it, but yeah,
Tavilik, there are 2 of them left. It is your action.
Yeah, I'm looking at them and I'm considering where their weaker spot is likely to be. Xenobiology.
Oh, I like that. So that's a good use. Let's just I like that.
So 2 dice at 12. So 12 3, if I'm reading it right.
That would be right.
Hang on, let's just do that one. That's a 9 and a 20.
So you will hit. Go ahead and roll. What's your security?
3. So 5 dice.
5 dice.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 of those are jokers.
Yeah. So you will hit this straight on, but it catches it and it smashes into you. And your phaser goes flying somewhere down in the darkness. You don't take any damage, but your phaser, you hear it like the sound of it maybe falling down a hole. I'm going to have the other one go. And I think this one, since you fired that shot, is going to try and hit you, Ensign Tavilik. So you're going to roll daring plus security, difficulty 1. They're going to roll as well. I've got 2 successes on mine.
I've got a 3 and a 15. 1 success.
1 success. So this thing will hit you. Okay.
I don't suppose the xenobiology makes that that turns that 3 into 2 successes, does it?
I don't think so. I think that's a nice try, is what I want to say. So you are going to take 5 points of damage, stress, and let me check that. So you took 5 points of stress. You are going to suffer an injury. Okay. Basically, an injury causes you enhanced difficulty until you get it treated. And I did get an effect, so I do think that you will feel a sting where this thing has bit into you.
I'm writing on the sheet, venom! Exclamation mark.
Learn something about the xenobiology here.
Absolutely fascinating, I'm sure, sir.
That leaves us with Astrid.
First-hand experience, Tvilic. That's so as Ensign Tvilic is being worried at by this bat thing, I shall. Is this the last one left?
This is the last one left.
Okay, so I'm gonna, take advantage of its preoccupation with my good friend Tvilic and shoot it at point blank.
Daring plus security.
Yes, daring security. For one.
For one success. So that is just enough to hit it. You will go ahead and roll your damage dice. What's your security?
Security 2. So I think it's 5.
4 dice.
4 dice. 2 pips and 2 stars.
Oh, and 2 jokers. So armor reduces that. 4, you hit it and it screeches and flies off mortally wounded. And I think you can hear the sound of the wings and the shouting. And I assume the 4 of you are going to take off in pursuit.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And you'll run down this hallway, and the texture of the hallway changes. Like, clearly you're moving from like a natural mountain bit to like a place where something changed the landscape, like some sort of ancient machine or device or something maybe fell from the sky and burrowed itself in. And we'll see the 4 of you come out into this chamber that's glowing, and Fate, you will feel the pressure, the psychic pressure from this thing, and you will see the device. It is a good 15 meters tall and wider. It's got some damage on it, but it has that same design of that palace outside, that weird hexagonal paneling and things. And you will see there are a couple of the local inhabitants here that are armed, kind of standing by. You see the bat kind of dropping your friend to the ground, and you will see this sort of ravaged Starfleet uniform on this person. And I've actually got a picture here. Let me insert image. So if I can find it real quick. Again, one of those cases where it would have been good for me to get this beforehand. There you go. I've put that in the NPC tab next to Mundiris. And you will see she is standing there. She looks ragged and worn and exhausted. But I think the other thing you will notice is that her face and head looks normal, but you can see that her veins are silver. Like, you can see it's almost like mercury is running through them as they kind of are bulging out in places. And you will feel, Vate, she is connected. She is tied to this massive psychic terraformer. This thing is broadcasting commands. It clearly fell from the sky, and this is what it does. It takes over the populace and makes them terraform their own planet.
I go backwards. Expose
Diabolical.
that to the rest of them, you know, like tell them all of that. Like she's connected to it. It's like I don't know, it's like a cuckoo. It buries its way in there and into the nest and takes it all over.
And you see her turning and now looking over your way, even as these armed guards approach, and you will see it's almost like mercury pours into her eyes. And they go silver. Vate, makes sense since you're the other Beta Z that I start with you. What do you want to do?
This is a rescue mission. This is a Starfleet officer, you know, like I need to talk her out. I need to get her out of this. I think what that entails is Vate needs to connect to it as well, right? And try and disrupt that, reach her, like whoever's the officer inside of it, right? I'm happy for that to be a thing that I need to get up close and personal to do, you know? Yeah.
Absolutely. What do you say to your comrade? Do you tell them what you're doing? How do you explain this?
I think I say I can get her out of here, out of there, Captain. And I just, you know,
give it a try once.
Yeah. You've got one shot, kid, right? Like, yeah.
So you're going to rush forward. Let's do the roll for you engaging, and then the others are going to have to deal with the other threats that are around here, or maybe assist you. We'll see what we're going to do. So what do you? I don't think there's any role for the run over there. It feels dramatically appropriate, and you grab on to her, and let's. What do you think? What do you think we want to roll this with for this psychic battle here?
Daring is, I did definitely charge in, but I think that it's definitely probably presence or insight. I think it's insight, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, because I'm trying to see into the person in there, right?
Insight plus security, because this is a battle.
Cool. I will definitely not argue the score on that one. So that's 14, I think.
Yeah.
I'm
mediation as a focus.
Yeah, I guess I could go with that.
I like that. You're trying to break in and get a hold of them and find a way through. Okay.
Yeah. I'm just wondering whether to spend my determination here. You regain your determination between adventures, right? Like,
yep.
Yeah. You know what? Let's just roll it, and we'll see if it goes badly. Then I can spend my determination on the next roll.
Okay.
Oof. It's 20 and a success.
So you will get a success unless you want to spend your determination to re-roll.
It's really 20.
It would do, yeah.
Yeah.
It would.
Is it re-roll everything or re-roll a selection?
Re-roll a selection.
Okay.
Oh, no brainer.
Yeah, I'll re-roll. I'll do that then. I'll spend the momentum.
Okay. Or the determination.
Oh, determination. Sorry, yeah. Where do I find my determination? Actually,
you just have one.
Oh, I just have one.
Yeah,
Yes,
I keep forgetting to add it to the sheet. I apologize.
I put in some on mine just to keep
Okay.
track of it, but I just copied the momentum, which I'm not sure we use much.
Well, we're not tracking the individual momentum, are we? So,
yeah.
Anyway, cool. I'll re-roll that one then.
Yeah.
That's 11. That's another success.
Okay, so 2 successes. So he will grab on, and I think the others you can see, like this figure, like their hands come up and grab, and you will start to see those veins in Lieutenant Vate's hands start to turn silver. And even as they do so, these armed figures are rushing forward, trying to intercede to stop Vate and break that contact. Commander, what do you want to do?
To quote a different franchise, we've got to give him more time. So yeah, let's give him more time.
Who do you want to go first, you or one of the others?
Let's have Ward go first.
Okay. I feel like I should, spend my determination here, because this is definitely outside of my comfort zone.
Okay.
And,
So
I've been told to hold the line.
what value is it that
we took care of some Cardassians earlier, right?
Which of your values do you think is the one that's giving you this determination? I always forget to ask that.
Revels in a challenge.
Okay. So you spend a determination. We've added an extra die. That's set now out of 1, so that's 2 successes. But you also get to roll as well.
So I'm rolling my usual 2 dice.
Daring plus security, 2d20.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's 1 success. So right now we've got 3 successes. So you've got 2 momentum in the pool. Let's have you roll 4 of those challenge dice.
4, yeah, okay. So 3 and a joker.
3 and a joker. So you've haven't taken this one down, but you have interceded so that they can't get to Vate. Like you've gotten in the way, kind of firing at them. They have to dodge away from that. You've got 2 momentum you can put in the pool if you wish.
Yeah, I'll put that in the pool.
Okay.
So we're up to 3.
One of these guys is going to go now and is going to strike at Vate, unless somebody wants to spend momentum to go before they go.
Yes, please.
Okay, so
yeah,
one
I'm
more.
doing a small unit tactic with Tavalic.
Okay, so spend a point of momentum to do that.
Done.
Okay, and then you're going to roll 1d20 for daring and security, Captain Carlton, with the extra potential momentum. And Tavalic, you're going to roll daring plus security.
I was going to assist.
Right, with daring plus security.
Oh, you mean pack tactics?
Yeah, I'll pack tactics, but you've got small unit tactics.
I have.
So it's a focus, so big effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, 12. 12-3.
12-3. Let's start with you, and then we'll roll your commander.
A 13 and a 2.
So that's 2 successes we've got on the table right now. And then commander, would you like to?
I rolled a 7.
Okay, so that's another success. So right now, 1, 2, plus the bonus 1 is we've got 3 momentum that you can add to the pool or use to do something right now. Right now, you're going to be rolling damage, Ensign Tavalic.
That's
security plus 2.
5 dice. Hang on, there we go. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5. So you will fire off your phaser and
Stop.
Yes.
He won't fire a phaser. He hasn't got one.
Oh, that's true.
Oh yeah.
Hand
so
to
you have
hand.
to do this. You have to do this barehanded. So
I throw myself at them with a rock.
Yeah. I think you're.
Yeah. Now, if I was a main character, I'd have one of those Andorian ice pick things. But never mind.
No. So you are currently locked up. Add 3 momentum to the momentum pool.
Can we spend some of that momentum for like an effect, like say he barrel rolls into them and knocks them down?
Yeah, he could spend
Knockdown is an effect of...
He could spend up. He's got 3 momentum. He could spend all of that to get 3 extra dice of damage.
Or can he attack?
Rather, can I barrel them into another individual?
So yeah, spend 2 momentum, and you can create a trait unbalanced. It'll reduce the difficulty of attacks on them.
Okay.
For a while. So boom, smash into them. The one that you hit is still awake and moving, and is going to stab you, Kavilic. So let's have you roll daring plus
and security.
Yep.
Fine.
Ooh, 3 successes.
Oh, that's a 7 and a 12. 2 successes.
2 successes. So you're rolling around, fighting, and these things are taller and stronger, and
the venom is beginning to take a toll.
Yeah. And this knife will stab you. For 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points of damage.
That is -1.
Carlton, you will see you take another injury. And actually, because you went below 0, you go to 0 right now. You've taken 3 injuries right now. But 2 of them based on damage, and 1 of them based on going below 0. So what does that mean?
I think I'm holding my gut in.
Absolutely. You can avoid one of those injuries by spending 2 momentum. But right now, you are essentially dying.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if his injury went down to just 2 injuries, what would that mean, Lowell?
He would be very badly injured, but not dying.
I'd probably spend those.
Spend those 2 momentum?
Yeah.
Okay. No momentum left in the momentum pool. 0. Why is it doing that? I don't know. But there's none left there.
So I'm no longer dying.
You're no longer dying,
just
but
gutted.
Yeah, you are. You have 2 injuries. You're in really bad shape. You've got this thing's knife in you. We go up to the top of this next round. Lieutenant Vate, you've got 2 ticks already on your clock to try and get a hold of this thing. What do you want to do now? You can feel like her mind, like there's a name that you can pick up, Roram. Like you can see flashes of the Academy, of the Beta Z homeworld here, but there's this alien presence that's holding on to her mind.
I'm imagining I'm flickering through like moments from her life, right? Like in that temple, Starfleet Academy, like with Glass and the security ensign here on the planet, and like every time we flick around, like there's just like a growing like shadow, like that just begins to destroy everything, like white out everything, and then no, not a shadow, a glowing silver light, right, that burns through everything.
Tendrils of it whipping and tearing through the background.
Yeah. And I think that what we see is he turns to face the light rather than turning away from it like he has done, like the last couple of times it's shifted. And you can see like this pillar of light, and in his hand is the Whispering Blade in this sort of mindscape.
Okay.
And he's gonna like swipe with the Whispering Blade to try and sever it.
I think your device will allow you to use daring plus security here.
That's what I was going for. Nice.
Okay. And you have a focus for it.
Yes. Hand to hand, I suppose. I would like to generate a point of threat to get him a point of momentum. Is that how to get an extra dice? Is that how it works?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So definitely want to succeed at this. So here we go. Wow, that's pretty good.
What do you get? Let's see here.
2 1s and a 12.
So that's 5 successes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's
All
only
right.
a 6-tick clock. So what does that look like? Like what is the draw this thing out? And I think the thing that you will realize is this psychic terraformer recognizes the knife, knows it, and there's a moment of reeling back, trying to get away from it. And
Yeah.
what does it look like when you finish it?
I think in the like in the mind space, the whispering blade looks like black, and it just starts to just diminish all the light around it. And as it comes near it, there's like a shrieking pain, and the silver flashes out as a knife slashes through like this thin, this beam that looked huge, and then just widowed down to like a thin rope. And as he does it, like obviously light pours out of our eyes, right? The silver light, and we cut to whatever's however the machinery is reacting to.
I think all of you will see this, the cracks forming in this machine and the silver light kind of glowing out from it as that psychic energy is being released, and it will explode out. The machine collapsing, it will wash over all of you, knocking all of you down out here, ally and enemy alike, and just comes crashing down. Lieutenant Vake, I am going to spend my threat now to do a little bit of damage to you. Just 1 stress. That's all I do to you in that. And I think that we see that kind of crashing down, the smoke from that.
And I think the last thing we see of Vate in that series of shots is he says the woman's name as it comes to him clearly, and that's the last thing.
Perfect. So I think the next scene is our little mission epilogue. I think we're back up on the ship. Commander Carlton, what is this scene? And when you get back up there, the shuttlecraft has avoided Cardassian detection and has gotten back up. What do we see in this scene?
I think you see. Well, I would have used my emergency medicine to make sure Tavilik is okay afterwards.
Are you good with
Captain
Tavilik
Sarkis
surviving,
agreed.
Alan? Okay.
I think you'll see me walking with Munderes down to sickbay to see Tavilik as I explain that this is a starship. And a sort of and I'll say that's why you can never go back. That's why you made that decision to join us up here.
I've always been an outsider. I've never had a place. She
Everyone
goes
is
over,
at home
looks
in the
out.
Federation.
This is what my planet looks like.
Indeed, it does.
And Tavilik, what do we think we see of you, in Med Bay there, or afterwards? Where do we see you?
I think that you see me soaking up all the kudos from the rest of the science team that turned up to see me, and then there were 5 of them, and there was nothing I could do. Lieutenant Vate was in trouble, so I just threw myself at them.
Perfect. And I think our doctor, who they're in the background because we haven't hired that actor yet, but we see them working on something and checking out the venom and saying enough, my patient needs rest, and sending him off. Ward, what do we see of you?
I think we have like a shot of Ward's being at Tavilik's bedside until that gaggle of science officers arrive, and then she just kind of drifts out, and maybe they have a look when she's at the door, and she's like then just taking a lift to the graveyard
That's right.
to have a nightcap.
Absolutely. And Fate, what is your epilogue scene for this mission?
I think it is Vate sitting with the survivor in medbay, and just as she I think she says about how it recognized that blade you carried, it recognized it, and he just says, look, it's okay now, you're back, you're safe.
And I think there's that moment, that pause. She looks at the knife and then she looks up at you and she goes, where is the Baran?
A lot's changed since you've been gone.
I think we're going to kind of pull out on that shot before the explanation comes in. And that is our episode for today. We'll take up with a new mission next time. Typically what I do with these episodes when we get in, now that we kind of got the rhythm, is I will offer B plots to people for the show. I generally aim for 2 sessions for a mission, but I do want to give plenty of RP time. We've been on planet for an episode, so probably the next mission will be, shipboard or that kind of thing, or starbase, something of that sort. Sound good? If you don't mind, I'd like to do a quick stars and wishes. Again, things you liked about people's play, and stuff you want to see more of, want to see with your character. Alan, can I start with you?
Yeah, again, I think you're making what I still feel in me bowels to be a crunchy system. It flows very well, and that's down to you and how you're making it work. I appreciate that a lot. I enjoyed Commander Carlton's attempt to wrestle the local and have that go pear-shaped and be pursued by a 6-legged lion. I enjoy the already developing plot arc around Vate, his knife, and something. And I enjoyed what I'm sure in successive episodes will become an increasing frisson between Tavalic and Ward.
Nice. Anything wishes wise?
No, not at all, really. I am very keen to see how you're going to make Starship combat work.
That will be a while before we
get
to
well, that's
working on that one.
Yeah, that's the sadist in me.
That is it. It will probably be very different than it is in the book, just so we can do something fast. Because the explanation video I watched, as I said, took an hour. But anyway, Donna.
Fantastic session. I thought, we're getting a handle on the mechanics as a group, thanks to you, Lowell. And I just opened the palettes list there, and you are skewering or things we'd like to see list, I think, with great mastery. In terms of individual action, yeah, Alan, I loved our a kind of, I don't know, varying approaches to our problems as 2 young ensigns, possibly stuck in the wrong job. Who knows? And thank you to you and to Lowell for hammering our Prime Directive personal quandary, which was kind of fun. And to our split away team, that was a very interesting part of your mission. Paul, better luck next week with your dice rolling. It was, this is why you have to learn the act of delegating. If you're not rolling any dice, you can't get any 20s. And yeah, I loved Will, your damn the torpedoes. Let's just attach myself to this alien artifact in super fashion, right? And that stinger of the psychic terraforming device recognizing the knife was just, chef's kiss.
Anything wishes wise?
No, I think more of the same.
All right.
But like you said, maybe we do a split B plot to lighten the load.
Absolutely. Also, we need to definitely get Latal on screen as well, so that for the primary character. Commander Carlton.
Yeah, really good session. I thought very, very TV, not movie. I don't know. That's because that's what we wanted, but it seemed more TV-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the system is quite complex, as Alan said, but really good for managing the time very well. Still having a lot of pressure there. Some good dice down the range. Definitely made it very enjoyable. I really did Alan leaning into the quick character. I'm now not too sure which is your main character, but really good. And you didn't just play it as somebody in the background. The character did have some depth to it, so that was nice to see. Because you could have just said, "It's a bloke in a red shirt. I don't really care." Donna,
Blue shirt.
Blue shirt. Oh, okay. Donna, leaning your first, the Prime Directive. I thought that was really good. Yeah, nice to see. The play that's within your character there. That was a really good bit of background. I thought that you attached to your character, and it really steer you this episode. Well, yeah, big finale there. Nice to see. Yeah, I really enjoy it. Star Trek's a great setting. It's different from a lot of other sci-fi settings, but yeah, still good.
Anything wishes wise?
Hardcore Fenton Mud. Yeah, I don't know, something a bit lighter, as Donna said, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not we said not humor, not high comedy, but something that is a little bit okay. Yeah, we can definitely do that. And Will.
I mean, I really love this Quatermass in the Pit, like Lovecraftian sort of twist, like inscrutable alien devices and psychic fields and all of that. Like, it would have been great even if they hadn't been playing a psychic character, like a semi-psychic character, right? Like, because I love that Star Trek is all of the different sci-fis all in one setting, right? Paul, I thought it was great that you managed to roll with all of your failures this session. Because it is frustrating when you just roll nothing but failures, but I think that it never bothered
one success.
Yeah, one success, yeah. But you it's all about the teamwork, right? In those things, and it does feel that way because even if one of us fails, it doesn't feel like it would be the rest of us are all there for it because that's Starfleet, right? I thought that was actually quite good that it was almost fitting that it was the captain, right? Because it was giving not very Kirk-like, I have to say. But then, yeah, you need to get Shatner's contract, I suppose. I really, really enjoyed Tvilic as a temporary character. I'm looking forward to taking a temporary character myself. I was so hoping almost that he would die, but then I think it's so much better that he's dining out on his war stories. That's a lovely little subplot to go for. I love that Ward was I have to keep reminding myself that Ward is the new character as well, right? As in that this is all hell of a first proper mission, right, on the Kintsugi. It's been a year of you did a first contact one, right, like a prime directive mission, but not fought in any of the big things. So 1 year into Starfleet and you've already had your first ancient alien temple that tries to mind control the other things. I'm looking forward to wishes wise getting mastery of the subsystems. I think we know the systems well enough, I guess. We have a competency of the systems. It's the subsystems like damage, combat, spending the momentum on things other than just buying an extra dice. There's a lot of scope there, and I lose track of it all. I am looking forward to a space mission or a mission in like galactic civilization, like having maybe some repercussions from the Cardassians as well, like I would love to see a bit more of that. Maybe they write as a Kintsugi or whatever in the future.
I certainly like that. I actually have the name for the ship, though I didn't get a chance to do that, and I have who the Gaul is, but we'll certainly have them come back and visit again later. I do want to say this, like, the one thing with momentum is basically when you get momentum, you can either put it in the pool, you can do something else, like I want to do more damage, or I want to have better effect, or I want to do, I want to say that basically you can do something, or you can ask a question. So that whenever I think about 2d20, it's, if I got momentum, I can make what I did better, I can ask a question, or I can put it in the pool. That's the basic paradigm to imagine that with. There's a lot more complexion and detail in here, but like when I run Dune, that's pretty much it. Like they cut it down to those things, and I think it's really fair to look at it that way.
Because they have different costs for different things. That
they do.
Stop when if it was as easy as just it's always one extra momentum or it's always two extra momentum, because there's variations. It's like you can only remember a couple of them.
Right. Yeah, but I think always think about it that way, and then we can figure out what the cost is, from there. So it is like, here's the thing: is there is a lot of fake DNA in this, kind of hidden behind the scenes, and that's certainly my approach to playing it. Thank you all. I really enjoyed that. I had a great session. Enjoyed it fully. I am going to stop the recording